Hey everybody, it's Dana and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be starting off with a beautiful Valentine's Day card from products from My Favorite Things. So let's go ahead and start the card. All products used will be linked below. I'm using the Full of Hearts Die-namics. This is so gorgeous. And I'm also using the new lovely lions. I think these lions are just so damn adorable. We're going to have a fun time doing a little bit of ink blending today because I have not done ink blending in a while. So I pulled out my distress oxides and we have picked raspberry, seedless preserve, dusty concord, and villainous potion. Now, I don't even think I've ever used a villainous potion before, but I know I did swatch it. So like I said, we're going to just do some easy ink blending. Now, I'm a little rusty because I have not played with my oxide inks in quite some time. But I wanted to pull them out because I want to make sure that I'm using products that are in my room. And since I have all of the colors besides the new color that I'm going to have to pick up, I needed to make sure I'm using these products. So, like I said, we're going to start off with a really pretty background. I first came in with that picked raspberry, blended that on, and I made sure to keep my desk space clean when I was doing my ink blending. That's just a little bit of a tip. Once I had that down, I moved into the seedless preserves. And I do make sure when I'm doing my ink blending to make sure that I blend those colors up into each other. Once I was done with the seedless preserves, I flipped my card over and I started in with the Dusty Concord. This is such a gorgeous purple. I don't use a lot of purples and I need to try to do better. I really just need to try to do better. And then last, we're coming in with that Villainous potion. Now, this is such a gorgeous color. When I started blending this, I was like, oh my God, why do I not use these purples? They're so pretty. Once I had everything ink blended, I did go back over with my brush to kind of soften up those lines. Now, the area between the picked raspberry and the seedless preserves does look a little bit splotchy, but that's okay. I still feel like I have a little bit of a harsh line, but when we die cut everything out, that's going to look fantastic. So I'm not too worried about it. I did bring in a little bit more of that picked raspberry just to add a tad bit more of that color. So now since I have this here, this is a lot of ink. So I went ahead and grabbed my heat tool and decided just to dry this back a little bit. My hands were getting a little bit inky, so I kind of knew there was a lot of ink on this. So once I dried it back, I decided, I think I want to have some water splatters on here. I love doing that with this distress inks. So I went ahead and I grabbed my bottle and I'm just spritzing that on there. Now that bottle, you guys, used to be a facial product. I use it now for a water bottle. So if you guys have really good water bottles that you have used for other things, rinse them out, clean them out, and use them as your water bottles. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and clean up my area. And now we have this gorgeous color. Now the color blend came from one of the cards out of the color cube. This is 037. And I chose to not use all the colors, but just some of the colors. Now, if you really want to see that color cube, I will link the video below so you can see how I use that color cube. Next, I'm coming in with that gorgeous die. Now, what I love about this die is it leaves me a border all the way around. And then I have all these gorgeous hearts that I can use a little bit later. So let's go ahead and run that through the die cut machine and look how gorgeous this is. We have a fantastic panel and a whole bunch of hearts I can use on another card. So I'm just going to use a top folding card base for this. I'm going to keep this card really, really easy, nice, clean, and simple. And I'm just going to put down this panel. Now, if you wanted to, you could totally turn this into a shaker card, which I think would be absolutely fabulous. But today, just starting out on these colors for Valentine's Day, I decided that we're going to do some ink blending and keep it really simple for today. Now, as I press this down, I did off camera color up the lovely lions. There are so many gorgeous, and I mean gorgeous little lions in this stamp set, and I think they're going to make fantastic Valentine's Day cards. So here you can see I have my little lion colored up. I also made sure to color up two of the hearts so I can have that sitting next to him. And look how darling that is. Now, this is a super, super easy card to mass produce while you're sitting down and you're watching sports or watching YouTube, i.e., this video. You can be coloring up some of those gorgeous images. Now, within the stamp set, they do have gorgeous, and I mean gorgeous, like heartfelt sentiments. So I'm going to use one of the sentiments. Now, I will say that the sentiments within the stamp set do not have coordinating dies. So you will have to either fussy cut those out if you want to, or you just have to trim them out like I'm going to do. I went ahead and I picked You Make My Heart So Happy, since we have all the hearts on the background and we have our heart balloons, and then we also have our additional hearts. I'm going to go ahead and use my Tim Holtz trimmer here just to trim this down. Now I'm using the top of my letters as a guide, as well as the side of my letters as a guide to die cut this out. So when I swing this around, I'm going to show you. I put the bottom of those letters right along that blade line. And then when I press down, I get a great cut of my sentiment. So here we have our sentiment to put on the bottom. And again, look how adorable this card is. Now, I did die cut this out quite a few times so I can have a little bit of thickness to that line and to the heart. Now, you don't necessarily have to do that, but I just feel like when you add just that little bit of thickness to your images, they really just stand up a little bit better on your card. Now, you can get the bundle of this, the lovely lines and the matching dynamics. And I would tell you, I do not like to fussy cut. I just really struggle with fussy cutting. So I'm deciding to kind of, if I can, purchase the dies. Now, with this, this is what I go through, you guys, when you guys don't see me on YouTube, like trying to decide where I want my image and where I want my sentiment. At first, I thought that would be a really great triangle by keeping the sentiment off to the left hand side, but then I decided I kind of wanted my hearts to surround my lion. So I'm going to go ahead and place that there, and then I can go ahead and add in the sentiment. Now, since the sentiment was die cut, I'm just going to add some skinny foam strips to pop this up. Since everything else was popped up on the card, I wanted to stay consistent when I did this and pop up the sentiment as well. I'll just use my scissors to trim off any extra bits of that thin foam tape. And this thin foam tape is fantastic. I'll just trim that off and then I can go ahead and pop this up on a card. Now, if you guys have been with me through 2023 into 2024, I want to thank you so much for your support. If you're new here, make sure to subscribe and hit that bell to be notified when I have a couple more cards heading your way soon. Now, I did think maybe I wanted to add some of the hearts back into this panel, just so I didn't have as many white hearts. But as I started placing in those hearts, I was kind of like, yeah, that's not going to work. I think I'm going to keep all of the hearts open. Again, you can totally turn this into a shaker card. But once I looked at that, I was like, nope, I want to have all the white hearts. And I think just came out so pretty. So that is going to wrap up the card for today. Now, don't forget to head over to my Instagram because I do have another card up on my Instagram for you guys to see as well. So this is the first card of the Valentine's Day card series, and here is my color inspiration. All right, everybody, thank you so much for hanging out with me today, and I will see you in another video soon. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.